Bend the knee.
Yo, what up? Back again. This is Don Woolley. Gonna talk about Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode number 2, House of Black and White. So. Spoilers for this one. So now we get Arya finally getting to Bravos. Gets to see the Titan. Um, Going to the House of Black and White to become a faceless mind. Or in her case, faceless woman, faceless girl, whatever you like to call it. So, now one big change from the books with this one is they don't have the whole thing with people on the boat basically saying, "Oh, remember my name's my name," or "Remember my name," because and again, spoilers, book spoilers. All right. So if you haven't read the books, you know what? No, forget it. I'm not going to do book spoilers. But point is, it's a big change from the books in terms of the reason why they're telling that they don't. That they're telling Arya what their names are, right? Um, but she rolls up to the House of Black and White, and obviously, Bravos seems to be modeled after Venice, so a lot of stuff is just getting around by waterways. And it's funny because, like, the way the House of Black and White was, like, I didn't really see any other buildings around there. It just kind of seemed like it was in the middle of, like, wherever Bravos is situated. It just kind of seemed like it was by itself because I didn't remember seeing any buildings in the background or anything. And when the Bravos captain rolled off, I was like, I don't see anything around. It's just like this thing is just in the middle of kind of like almost in the middle of the ocean, kind of. She gets there. You have the kindly man, the show version, way different from the way he looked in the books. Um, and when I do a video on the House of Black and White, I'll go over the difference. And shout out to Miko as always for providing artwork. I gotta update some of the some of the descriptions on some of my videos to include the link to his Facebook page. But yeah, she gets turned away. Her list is mighty short now. I think she's only got like 4 names on her list somehow. Ellen Payne is missing. The Hound is missing. But as far as she knows, the Hound's dead. The Mountain is missing, which I'm like, I don't know if she should know anything about the whole trial by combat. I don't know if she should even know anything about Tywin because where she was, I mean, when that whole thing happened, I'm not sure that she should have been aware of those characters dying off. But it is what it is. So yeah, we get Brienne and Pod again. This time they're in the inn. They see Peter Baelish, and just like I predicted, Podrick recognized Sansa. Well, it's not in the video, but I had a discussion with somebody about this. That Podrick was going to be the one to kind of out Sansa, and in an act of supreme stupidity, Brienne walks over to somebody that, everybody in the show is very wary of Littlefinger. As opposed to in the books, in the show, people know Littlefinger is somewhat crooked. They just don't know exactly how crooked he is. It's not a thing that's explained. Like, we know how crooked he is because we've seen the stuff that he's done, but in the books, it's not as explicit. Um, but just the fact that it's like, yeah, we know who this guy is. You're like, why in the world would you just walk up to him with somebody that everybody knows, or at least the people that are traveling with them, that they know that she's a fugitive from the crown, and you just gonna like, oh yeah, yes, Sansa. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, remember me? Your mom sent me to come and find you and save you and all that. It's like, I don't know if they're writing Brienne to be stupid on purpose or what, but I don't know. That kind of annoyed me a little bit. So they have the whole fight scene. She uses her Valyrian steel sword, chops through a couple of dudes. Podrick is a bumbling idiot on the horse. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you guys have been traveling for a couple of months now. You still can't ride a horse yet? Whatever. Oh no, but you know what? No, he did say, yeah, we only have one horse, and she was like, go get another one. So who knows? Maybe as far as Brienne's been going, she's been all snippy with Pod, so maybe she did have him walking, walking the damn Riverlands and the Vale all that time. Who knows, right? So yeah, Littlefinger and Sansa make their escape, but she's like, all right, well, I'm still gonna follow him anyway because I don't trust him. You shouldn't trust him. We need to still save Arya. So yeah, it looks like uh, instead of Sansa Stoneheart hanging Brienne and Pod, that they might wind up joining her crew that goes and hangs some Freys and Boltons and all that. I don't know. Keep on hearing about this whole brutal thing where people, a ton of people are supposed to get killed off towards the end of the season. Still don't know who yet, but it is what it is. Forgive me, I didn't write down notes for this one, so I don't remember everything in order. Just remembering who was in the thing. But alright, so we get first look at Dorne, and I'm like, look, Alexander Siddig was one of my favorite. He played one of my favorite characters in Deep Space Nine. Julian Bashir. Obviously, we got Laurie Sand back. We get Ariel Hota, and there've been kind of mixed reactions on him. He's not black in the book, so there's a lot of people who's like, oh, here we go again, affirmative action, casting, etc., etc. It is what it is. I'm not even gonna get into all of that shit. Let's see. As far as Dora Martell with the gout, shit, man. Can he walk at all? Is his gout that bad where he can't even walk? I mean, I don't know what gout feels like. I hope to never have it. But, look, he's sitting there and Ilaria comes up to him. She's like, oh, I can't believe you're just going to sit here. You got the Lannister girl out there gallivanting, and Tristan is up there trying to be a play about his. Tristan is talking to Marcella, and like he said something in there, and I was up there like, oh man, Tristan is trying to lay that heavy Shakespearean game down on her. Like, show you how we do it in Dawn, girl. Pimp around here. But in the books we don't really get to see what plays out with those two as of yet, but who knows? And maybe that's one of the things that'll get spoiled in the show that wasn't necessarily spoiled in the books. Um, yeah, but Ilaria is all bloodthirsty, talking about let's chop her up and send her back in pieces. Doran is like, no, we do not torture little girls, and Dorne, obviously alluding to the Lannisters and their treatment of his sister and their children. So, you know, commend him on not being the bad guy like that. Let's see what else. We get Jon at the wall. Mance is, I mean, not Mance, no. Stannis is, kind of pissed off at him for like 2 seconds, and then right after that, he's like, hey, uh, I can make you Lord of Winterfell with a stroke of the pen, bring me the wildlings, kind of thing. And, Jon turns down on that one because he gets to become the head of the Night's Watch. Now, that whole scene played out differently. Sam did a lot of back channel scheming, try to get him as the Lord Commander, whereas this time, it all came down to Maester Aemon. And I guess, it's funny because from what I know of Alistair Thorne was actually a Targaryen loyalist, and part of the reason why he's at the wall is because, at the end of Robert's rebellion, Robert basically told him, look, you got two choices, either, take the black or take this blade to the neck. Or so, like, I didn't know about that whole thing for a while. I just kind of found out recently. So yeah, that's, part of the reason why he might be so hostile to Jon. Who knows with that. But yeah, so Aemon cast the deciding vote to make Jon Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. And, it might be, like, a lot of people might say, oh, man, like, why in the world would Aemon do that? Well, you gotta think. Out of the three candidates they had, right, Jon is the only one that's been north of the wall recently enough to know what's really happening, and he's the only one that's been giving them any good advice about what they should be doing in order to stop the threat that's coming from the north. So while all the rest of these dudes are sitting there, complaining about, oh, well, yeah, he's too friendly with the wildlings. At the end of the day, they're going to need the wildlings if they plan on surviving. Because the Night's Watch in total right now might have like 500 men. And Stannis has already said he's marching south. So who knows, like, shoot. Stannis has got, 10,000 troops, or maybe more than that. I'm not exactly sure what the number is, but the point is, that big army that was manning the wall is no longer going to be manning the wall once he leaves. So, if he can get some of the wildlings to stay, then and help fight, then you know what? Why not? Who cares if he's friends with him? So, yeah, we get, the scene with the with Dany and her council, and they're, all bickering back and forth about, should we kill this dude? Should we put him on trial? What should we do with him? And, at the end of it, Barristan is telling Daenerys about, all the stuff that people said about your father was true. And basically, he kind of let her in on the fact that he, was a little bit trying to shelter her from that. But he couldn't anymore because her father was doing atrocities that got their family murdered and ultimately caused a lot of what's going on in the story today. And, he just had to put her on and just let her know, like, look, you could have been that guy, but you're not. And I'm glad for it, but also at the end of it, I just got to let you know, look, this is, the just thing to do. And if you do something else, it could be really bad for you. So, Musador and his infinite wisdom is like, hey, I already know that she wants to kill him. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill him. So this way she doesn't have to. So this way she doesn't get the blame from the wise masters. But unfortunately, he doesn't think that she would execute him over that. And it's funny that because it's like she talks about can't deny this dude from the wise masters a trial, and then turns right around and denies this dude a trial. Whether he admitted it or not, you still got to weigh the facts and the evidence and put him on trial. So this way people won't just be thinking, all right, well, oh, well, he killed the wise master, you going to kill him. Nah, if it's going to be, if you're going to have some kind of judicial system, then do it all the way around. Don't do it halfway. You know. And we ultimately see, she beheads him, and now basically caused a riot. So now she's got to have extra protection around her at all times because now everybody hates her from both sides. Drogon comes back. Drogon is looking super fierce, and it looks like he's bigger than the other two. He could be the modern day Balerion the Black Dread if he survives long enough and if he gets big enough. But that's kind of a change from the books, is he didn't show up in that manner, and just kind of take off like that. But it's cool. They spent some money on CGI. Go do that. Trying to make sure I don't leave out anything here. I mean, well, Arya, at the end, she finally gets admitted to the House of Black and White. Jaqen H'ghar shows back up. In the books, Jaqen H'ghar was not there. He was off doing something else. And, for those of you who haven't read it, I'm not going to spoil it for you or whatever. So, but I'm actually glad to see him back. I think it's probably a much better role for him to be there because, yeah, it would have been kind of ridiculous to have the dude show up, tell her, if you ever need to learn about doing what I do, take this coin, go to Braavos, the House of Black and White, and then you just don't see him again. It was like, all right, well, that's one change from the books that I actually do like. There are a couple other changes, but I actually do like that one. And two scenes before I wind up forgetting. We get a box from the Sand Snakes, basically with Myrcella's pendant. Cersei's like, oh, there's only two of them like it. I got one. The other one got Myrcella. Jaime's like, hey, well, can't be telling people, can't be speaking too loud. People can't know that she's our daughter. But listen, I feel your anger, and I'm gonna go and get her from Dorne. Mr. just became a lefty not too long ago himself. All right, you said that fighting with your left hand is gonna make it a contest. Let him not lose. So he shows up to go and pick up Bronn from Loras Stokeworth. Basically save him from his betrothal because, shoot, dude didn't really want to marry her. And he's already plotting to kill her sister. I mean, but he already talked about killing her sister before. Last season, when he went to go talk to Tyrion, and Tyrion was like, "Oh, she has an older sister." He was like, "Yeah, well, highborn ladies fall off their horses and break their necks all the time." So, that's not Yeah, anybody who was surprised by that, I'm like, then you haven't been paying attention because I definitely remember him saying that from before. So, and that was hilarious when he was sitting there. It's like, oh my God, who's that? It's Jamie fucking Lannister. Yo, those British accents, I love them. I really wish I could do a British accent. I know it sounds good in my head, but I know, like, in reality, like, my English accent absolutely sucks. But listen, I'm thinking Bron's gonna die. Not that I want him to die, but they're going to Dorne. Supposed to be a lot of death this season. I don't think Jamie dies yet, but I think Bronn is a wrap. It's a done deal for him. Feel bad for the bro, but it is what it is. Yeah, but excuse me. Yeah, listen, that's been my thoughts on Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 2, The House of Black and White. I do not believe I missed anything, but it's possible. Who knows? It's late, and I'm drinking. So, anyway, give me your thoughts. If I did miss anything, please be sure to point them out. I did notes for Episode 1. I didn't do notes for Episode 2. And I should have, because I really do not have the greatest recall for that kind of stuff. So, it is what it is, right? Anyways, rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends. That's been my time. Don Willie.